Okay, is this working? There's always something, or many things. Is this still muted? I'm sorry. There's always a thing I forget. But I thought I had clicked the icon, so I guess I possibly just clicked like next to it and it didn't register. So I was saying, I made these two sketches featuring small critters. It's hard to see a bit because I drew them with the pink lead I have. So this one is a cat sleeping under a tree, and this one is an encounter between cute critters. And I will ink these, so even if you can't really see what's going on for now, I think that with the inking it's gonna show better. So yeah, and then I plan on adding a bit of watercolor to color these. So yeah. I will ink these with the platinum carbon pen, and hopefully it will work just fine. So yep, that's the plan for today. And I was saying that I'm sorry I'm late because the weekend's always a bit crazy, and I ended up eating lunch super late. So yeah. The paper is Arches Cold Press 140, doesn't feel like 140 pounds, but it's the green, you know, the green label. I don't think I've inked on this paper before, so... Oh, thank you so much, Dryad. Yeah, inking first, and then color. Just so I can, like, detail properly. Because I often leave things a bit sketchy and like refine them when I'm inking, but then again it might lead to some mistakes, so give and take. Anyway, this is just like practice pieces in a way. Like, I always hope that the drawings are gonna end up fine, but I go into them with the idea that they are practice pieces, so if something happens, it's not the end of the world, you know. Yeah, we are all running late today. I'm glad that the fact that I was late sort of was in fact a good thing for many people. Oh, wow. Dryad, are you moving or just traveling? Oh, whoa, Dan! Dan was using Holbein watercolors today. It's gonna rain frogs or something. Usually the saying here is a bit less classy, but yeah, I try to keep things friendly on the channel. Am I on camera? A bit high, right? Okay. Sorry. Whew. Ooh, Dryad, that's so nice. Traveling to Greece, oh wow. I hope my hand is not covering up the inking too much, because that can happen sometimes. Hi Sam and Destiny and everyone. I mean, I haven't said hi to everyone yet because I got in late, but hi everyone. I hope you are having a great Saturday. Speaking of traveling and all that, I collect really ugly postcards. Like whenever I have friends or when I go on vacation, like elsewhere, which is not often, but when it happens, I always try to find some really ugly postcard to bring home, or to ask my friends who travel to find me some really ugly ones, if they can. I think if I can afford a PO box eventually, I think I will. I will possibly make it maybe a feature or something. Like, send me a ugly postcard from your place if you want, of course. And I will make videos about checking out the ugly postcards. I have some really ugly ones, so it's really funny. I love the ones that are like photo montages of like super nice building from the place, and then they put kittens on it. I have a few like that, and that made me laugh so much because I'm like, what why? And also kittens, so yeah, I'm predictable that way. But yeah, I think it's really funny to see the ugly postcards. I mean, I love pretty postcards as well, but ugly postcards, they're something else. Want one from Greece? I would love it if you can, but don't feel any no pressure or anything. It's just so funny. Like I have a few that have like a big plant in the foreground, but the plant is like half dead. And it's like, why is this a good picture? Why is it a postcard? Canada, the land of snow and inexpensive. Yeah. I'm trying to remember where I've put mine. That's the thing, like, I know where my stuff is, but then I decide to clean it and sort stuff and, like, put some order into things, and now I can't find anything again. It's always like that. But I know I've taken out the ugly postcards recently because I was with my friends and one of them just came from a trip to Cuba, and she had found me a really silly one. Like, you know, just a bad picture of people on the beach. just a weird picture that you're like, how did this end up being a postcard? So funny. Define ugly. Well, ugly, like silly or something that when you look at the postcard, you laugh because you're like, why is this on a postcard? I wish I could remember where I've put mine so I could show them to you. Yeah, I really don't remember where I put them, but I have a good stack. It's something that I've been doing for many years, so that's why I have a really decent amount of ugly postcards. But I think that it could be super fun to do with combined with the channel, because I know that YouTube, like a lot of people from many locales are watching videos on YouTube, so eventually that could be really fun to do. But for that I would need kind of maybe a PO box or something, because I'm not sure about putting my home address like just ta-da on the internet. That's kind of perhaps a bit too much. Oh yeah, then UK, the land of chaos with the bleak future. I think the US have a good chunk of that title now, at least for however much time there is left in the current president's reign. I'm so sorry there's been another school shooting. It's insane. It's just like so sad. So very, very sad. Alright, so I think that's mostly done for this one. We'll sign right away because that's always the thing I forget. It's like a competition where no one wins. That's pretty much spot on. Question: are you using PG-17 and tips about using PG? Which one is PG-17? Is that a cobalt? Oh, I'm glad. I'm not very good at drawing sad stuff because I feel like that's not the thing that's missing in life in general. I much prefer to draw cute, fun stuff just because if it has the potential of brightening at least one person's mood, it's worth it. Oh, chromium oxide green. Oh yeah, I love chromium oxide green. It's a granulating color, so just use it for anything. I like to use it for backgrounds when I'm playing with paints. It's fun to have a super wet wash of it so it granulates. I've used it to paint grass because it's a very good color for grass that's a bit dry, just a bit dry, you know, not bright, fresh, new green grass, but the one that's a bit old and has been in the sun for a while. Trees. What else? Moss. It's a great natural green color. You don't have to mix it with anything to get a color that's really natural looking. Of course it's opaque a bit, but nah. That's okay. I'm okay with opaque paints. Okay, so I'm gonna ink this one too, and then I will possibly move on to coloring these and hopefully not mess it all up then. This is kind of new to me, to try with intent to draw cute critters. Like, I've made an effort, I've put some dogs in there. But yeah, I think that it's just fun, and it's fun for me to do as well. Like, I don't have to fall into the pit of thinking how things are and is this okay. Like, when you, yeah, this is not a good thought, but anyway, like when you start doing this stuff, drawing in general, at some point you can get a bit obsessed with drawing things how they are and looking up reference, and sometimes that's just not fun. So by drawing this, I can try to see if my memory is worth anything of these things that I practice. Like, I try to not look up reference for these things so I can see what I need to work on, what I need to improve. I was a bit stunned. I am not super knowledgeable about politics, and I try not to. I don't want this channel to be about politics, but when there was the Brexit mayhem, it was really shocking to learn that this politician lady was shot in the street and killed, and it's you sort of feel that this is not the kind of thing that happens outside of movies or, you know, other places, but it happened to this poor woman who just had like a different political opinion than some other dude with a gun, and you're like, whoa, that's taking it a bit too far. So yeah, I really hope that this kind of incident won't repeat, because it's not great, just not great. Yeah, Sam, I agree. Chrome oxide green is a color that a lot of people don't like, and there's been a lot of comparison comparing this color to baby body fluids. But I disagree. I tried it when I mixed it myself, and then I got Daniel Smith's in tube as also to try, and I really like it. It's really nice. And the thing it is with opaque colors is if you don't like them opaque, see what you can do with them diluted. Maybe you can use like really light glaze of this color and still achieve something fun. It's not a body fluid. Well, it still comes from the body and it is fluid, so yeah. Hi, Ali. Yeah, it's really sad, and I was really shocked by this thing. Like, you don't feel like it happens for real. Oh, James, hi. Oh, I'm so sorry you've been sick. I'm glad you're getting better, though. Bronchitis is not great, ever. Hi, Patricia. No, yeah, PG-17 doesn't look like any body fluid. I agree. Like, I just see a muted green. I don't see brown when I look at this color, and I really don't understand, sorry, why it's always associated with these colors. I would much prefer if people just said I don't like opaque colors rather than saying that this looks like something it doesn't look like. But that's just me being picky. Like, I don't like when people call mix mud or muddy, because it's just brown, guys. It's really just brown. Mud is not a bad thing, it's just brown. It's just a thing that happens. It's color. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just brown. Okay, I'm gonna shut up about muddy colors now. I don't know if it's healthy if your body fluids are green. I agree. That's very true, James, that mucus is a bodily fluid, but ugh, yikes, not a fun one. It's one that you know, calls for a visit to the doctor. Usually it means that there's something not quite working as it should. Yeah, mud has its place, I agree. It's brown. You cannot draw a forest scene without using some brown if you want to stick to the colors that it actually is. Well, like animals, a lot of them are brown. I agree, neutralized colors are really so beautiful. One of my favorite is Permanent Alizarin Crimson with phthalo green blue shade. It's really nice, dark neutral with a tiny bit of purple in it. It's so super pretty. I'm glad that this pen is working well on this paper. I haven't used the platinum carbon pen to ink a lot of drawings on cold press paper, and I was worried that the texture of the paper would make the ink skip, because I know that I'm making like these incomplete lines, but I want to control where it's incomplete. I don't want the pen to decide for itself. So yeah. Are the animals wearing hats? Nope. These are dog ears and that's cat ears, and nobody's wearing a hat. Oh yeah, phthalo green and dioxazine violet is really pretty as well. I'm so glad! Otto is saying that she's really starting to appreciate the neutral colors. There's so much variations and subtlety to them, I agree. Especially when you mix your own neutral. Though, I will try to... I think I will try to send you some, Otto, but the M-gram neutral color is a mix of PV19 and PG7, I think. So it is really nice for that. It doesn't look flat at all. And I really love Holbein's neutral tint as well, but it has black in it, fairly sure. So just out of memory, I think M-gram is the only one I have that doesn't use black in its neutral color, so it's really interesting to see how that affects the color. Yeah, it's the Platinum Carbon pen in extra fine. It's my favorite for inking for watercolors because it's a good fine line that's really consistent, and it is waterproof ink that you can buy in cartridges. If I can open this up. Nope, I can't. Oh, okay, there it is. So yeah, you could buy the ink in the bottle and refill the cartridges, but you can also just buy cartridges and pop them in. Schmincke has neutral gray without black, but their neutral tint has black in it. If I remember correctly from my researching of the Zorn palette. Oh, it's neutral tint by Core that doesn't have black in it. Good to know. Oh, hi Heather! There is a medium carbon pen, but the one I got tended to skip a lot. So I don't really like using it. This one, I've never had any issues with it. It's possibly a bit scratchier, but I don't really notice. Oh, it's the Pilot Kakuno that I really like. I gotta show you this one though. Pen Apocalypse. Okay, so here's one of them. And let's try this one. So it's this plastic fountain pen by Pilot again, and it's available in fine and medium and maybe another point, but I don't remember what it is. But these are really smooth on the paper, and you can use, I think this one's gonna be empty, but yeah, you can use the Pilot cartridges. It comes with a cartridge, but the ink is not waterproof. But what I do is I keep the cartridges and I refill them with whatever ink I want. So I got a couple of inks that are waterproof. Just use a small syringe, you refill it, you pop it in, and you're good to go. And these are really great. They're super lightweight, they're fun to hold. They are not scratchy at all. And I love these. I have quite a few. But yeah, they don't come with broad nib, but if you want something that is fine for inking watercolors or stuff like that, I would suggest giving these a try. I've used these a lot for sketching in previous sketchbooks with the brown platinum ink that is waterproof. So it's really interesting. Love these. Okay, sorry. You should try a Fude nib if you haven't already. I have tried a Fude nib, yeah. I bought one from Duke. Anyway, a super inexpensive one. And I've tried it for a while, but it had a tendency to clog easily. Even if this one has the same ink in it and it almost never clogs. They are Kakuno. I think there's on one of the letters, but I don't remember which. And I've never had any issues with my Kakunos getting clogged. Of course, it helps if you use them often. Like, I haven't used them... I don't think I have any inked. But, yeah, I would use the carbon, the platinum inks. They have great waterproof inks. There's the carbon black one, their sepia one is great, and the blue one are 3 colors I've tried and I really enjoyed, and they're all waterproof. It's Kakuno. It's the Pilot Kakuno. Kakuno. It's a Japanese pen. And yeah, there are about $10 to $13. I'm pretty sure JetPens has it if you are in the US. But they are fairly easy to find on Amazon from Japanese sellers. They have one recently that's all transparent. And I cannot really afford it right now, but I really wish I could get the fully transparent one. Never mind that I have like 8 tens of them. Like, there's a transparent one and I'm gonna get it someday. Silly. I should perhaps ink one and do like the next stream with the Kakuno just to showcase it. Or if I finish this fast, I could also... Yeah, they're fairly inexpensive in Japan. They're supposed to be for kids, which is why they have like a smiley face. Well, transparent ones is just cool. You can see like through the pen and you see how much ink you have left like super easily, and it's just cool. I don't know, I like transparent pen. They're called a demonstrator pen, I think. Like, I've always wanted the Swatch watch that is transparent and that you can see the mechanism inside, just because it's so cool. My dad has one and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty sleek. And it's also the ones that their mechanism are made so that just wearing the watch, sorry, and moving around is what cranks it up. So I think that's pretty cool as well. And if you hear weird noises, that's people outside. That's not the cats, because the cats are asleep. Using fountain pens to ink stuff is really great because it brings something different than you would have in a in a regular pen. Like I've used marker nibs and they work fine, like they're great, but there's something about fountain pens, even the super fine ones, that gives a bit more to the line than you would get from just a regular marker nib. I don't know why. Hi, Temple. Try the Platinum Carbon Black ink, James. What makes that ink dry really depends on the paper you're using. Like if you write on Tomoe paper, or really smooth paper like Rhodia or Clairefontaine, it's gonna take a lot more time to dry. But if you are working on absorbent paper like watercolor paper, it's gonna take a lot less time to dry. So these two in Platinum, one is the carbon ink. Hi Katrina. So that's waterproof, never had any issue with it. And the brown, or I think this one is sepia, yeah, sepia pigment ink, also no problem with it. I've tried the blue pigment ink, no problem. So yeah, these are great. They retail for about 25 to 30 Canadian dollars per bottle, but they are really good. All right. I will try and remove a bit of the pencil work with the mono eraser. Hopefully it's not gonna pick up too much of the ink. I should. No, I'm not gonna use rubber eraser. I've had some weird experiences with the rubber eraser and not a super great fan. Oh, Cyan, remind me and I will send you a sample in with your next order of the stuff, if I don't remember. It's the biggest mono they have, I think. It's also the biggest eraser I have. So I always try to keep good stock of mono erasers because they're my favorite. So I have, like, this is one, I've got these because I was curious about the black. But this is like the ones I bought first just to try them. And I was like, these are great, but these are small. And sometimes you have a lot of like room to erase. So I got this super huge one at Jet Pens. It was one of my last orders on Jet Pens because they always get snagged at customs. And it costs an arm and a leg. So yeah, not great. Are the seed eraser better, as good as the mono erasers? There's a lot of inks that are sadly water resistant, but not waterproof at all. And I bought quite a few hoping they would be waterproof, and they were water resistant. So basically it means that it's gonna bleed and like create a mess when it's wet, but you're still gonna be able to read what is written with the ink. But yeah, sure, that's fine if your check gets a bath, but not great if you want to paint something that you've drawn. So yeah, so far the platinum carbon black ink is the only one I've bought, and it's the one I would clearly recommend, and I will possibly continue using it for as long as I can, because it is really everything I want in an ink. Waterproof, super black, it doesn't clog the pen, dries fast, at least on this paper, and the other papers I've tried, like watercolor papers. Sorry, this is super wobbly because I'm erasing. Oh no! Sorry. Okay, so this one is done. There's just one left. Oh, you cannot have too much mono erasers. It's impossible. Hi, Melvina. And Paulo, hi. That's huge that you can't even hold it in one hand. Well, I can. Look, I'm holding it in one hand. I'm really sorry, this is making the camera wobbly. It's a good time to go get your tea and your drinks while I'm wobbly, making the camera super wobbly. so I'm just gonna wait a bit. Oh, there's a shop in Edinburgh called Pico Tea Shop. That's cute. Orange Pico is really tasty tea. I like it. Pico is a tea shop. That would be so cute. What is a mono eraser for? It's just the brand. It's Tombow, and they make this eraser that they named Mono, and it's just an eraser that works really well. Yeah, mono is also on your list. It's a mononucleosis. Yeah. What is your absolute favorite tea, Otto? But, you know, you have records that are mono, and it's just a word. It means one, I think. You got mono and stereo, and but then again, Dan is possibly too young for that. Oh, whoa, that sounds amazing. It's an oolong called Oriental Beauty. Oolongs are so delicious. Where have you found this oolong Oriental Beauty? Because, I mean, you've had some before. What is, Dan, what is T2 beside a good movie? And T's from Hotel Chocolat. What is Hotel Chocolat? Oh, wow. So Odo was saying that she had it once in a tea cafe in Chinatown in Yokohama, Japan. Ah, that sounds amazing. I don't think we have Hotel Chocolat in Canada. Well, if we do, I've never come across it. Okay, so which paint should I use to paint this? It's a tea shop that is in Australia and the UK. Hotel Chocolat is a posh chocolate shop in the UK and Denmark. The only tea I don't like is hibiscus. Just because it's so bitter. Anyway, the weird fermented tea that's sold in a cake, or kind of in a flattened cake. That one is a bit weird. But aside from that. Oh, I know. Ooh, oolong chocolate chai and caramel tea. Wow. Sounds delicious. Be right back, getting drunk. Oh gosh, Heather. It's okay, you don't have to. 100% chocolate is really something. That's like a punch in the face chocolate. It's really good, but woohoo! Strong stuff. I'm looking for a specific set and I can't find it. They do a vegan set of dark chocolate. Ooh, ooh! I love them already. Okay, so I'm thinking I will possibly use my Sennelier palette I put together. These colors are lovely. They don't have chromium green though, but since I've used I don't think chromium green would fit on this one. Maybe on this one, like for the background. But for this one, I would prefer not to have dead grass. The clicking sound of a palette addict. I have a lot of palettes, but a lot of them are just reusing paints that I put together in a different way, or like, you know, just messing things up. Is everything still in frame? Yeah, okay, good. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Admit that it's the first step. Yes, I have a lot of palettes. I admit it. So when I have a good brush like this one, I prefer to pick paint from the pans using like a cheap brush, not my nice Ultimo brushes. Because I don't mind like working a pan with the cheap brush, but I feel sad doing it with the good brush. So I do believe this is Sennelier's Cobalt, Turquoise or Teal. Super nice color. Oh, I'm glad to read that was a typo, Heather, because that sounded so serious. So you're getting a drink. Good, good, good. So I am pre-wetting the background. Hopefully I will be able to paint the sky in a way that is not lousy. It's difficult. Washes are something I should really practice more. I'm not really like versed in washes. Okay. It's way too wet for my purpose. So Zoe is saying, so guys, I am in a super cranky mood today and I was hoping that doing some painting would help. Turns out everything I touch today turns into crap. So the foul mood persists. How do you guys cope with that? Do you have days where nothing works, not even a simple straight lines? Yes. Yes, 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 that happens a lot. What to do when that happens? I try to stay creative on those days, but to branch to something really different. Like I might say I was procrastinating on fixing a pair of pens that had a hole in them. I will do that. So I still have to do the sewing, so I still have to be creative in a way, but it's not art, it's not, you know, it's not something super artsy, and it's quite easy to do. So basically what I try to do is I try to find simple creative tasks that don't take a lot of time, that I can do well even if I'm in a foul mood. So just doing these things successfully will usually lift my mood enough that I feel better after. I don't know if it's the kind of stuff that helped. That's what I tried to do. I don't know if this one is PG's 50. I've only labeled it as color 843 of the Sanity range, so maybe. Not sure. Oh yeah, Destiny, was it an Ultimo set you found on super discount? Is it the 3 set or the 6 set of travel brushes? And regardless of that, excellent work grabbing it. It's really worth it. These brushes are great. So I think I will let this side of the sky dry and do another layer on it later. The 6 set, oh wow, congrats. Awesome deal, awesome grab. Absolutely worth it. These are great, great brushes. Yeah, same. When the days get super bad for art, I try not to fight with it because it only gets worse. I really try to do something else. Like I said, like other tasks that I've been procrastinating or postponing, just being able to finish these and checking them off the list usually makes me feel better. This Denise saying it was $98 Canadian. I died a little and screamed, which was not something you should do at 3 AM in the morning. It upsets the neighbors. Yes, it does. But that's the price with the discount for the 6 set. That's not free, but at least you're getting it at a discount for really good brushes. And that's the thing with good brushes, if you take good care of them, they will last for a decent while. So that's great. Oh, I forgot, this is not what I'm supposed to do. Come to me, cheap brush, come to me. It was $396 on Amazon. Ooh, yikes! Yeah, yep. That's a bit insane. That's a bit insane. Whoa, that's a lot of money. That's too much money. Petting kitties cures everything. Sorry, petting kitties cures everything. Except if it was kitties who caused it. Are you getting that printed on a bumper sticker, Heather? Because I would buy one and I don't even have a car. Do you like the Senilia paint? I don't often hear you mention them. Oh yes, I like them. I like them a lot. I should really use my set more. Because I really like these paints, and I really like the set I've put together for myself. Because I really went with the colors I like, and I tried to... It took me a bit more time, and yeah, of course it's expensive when you buy a lot of colors, but I spread it out, and I was able to put together this set, which only has 2 spaces left in it. But it's my favorite colors of their range, so I only went with the things I like, and so I end up with a palette that I really like, and I should really use it more. But yeah, great paints. The thing is, it's a palette I put together for illustration. So when I am doing more like studies or abstract stuff, I don't have as much use for it as when I'm doing illustrations. Because it's not a palette that's based on mixing your own colors as much as finding the colors you need in the palette. Questions. Do you have problem mixing the Sennelier paints? Do they mix cleanly? Can you elaborate a bit more on this? I'm not sure I understand what you mean by mixing cleanly. Oh, Dan, I'm glad you love them. Are we still speaking about the Sennelier paints when you say you love them, they are the best? Otto is asking, that's a beautiful set. Have you done a video on this set? Not yet. Maybe I should. But yeah, it hasn't been a very long time since I've put together this set. And it's like almost complete, but at this point in time I have no idea. Like I don't see any colors that I need that I would pick to complete this palette. So I guess I could make a video on it, even if it's not complete. Is there any magical way of hardening the Sennelier paint once it's put in a pan? Not really. It dries well. Oh yeah, sorry, it was Temple asking. I got confused. Anyway, yeah, Agnieszka, the paint will stay sticky, but it's not gonna move around, but it will stay sticky. So Zoe is asking, well, it's providing more info, saying, I have built a set of 5 colors, 3 mix beautifully, and if I put the other 2 in the mix, it gets muddy. It is probably the colors I chose. Yeah, chances are that, I don't know if you remember the kind of diagram I did to comment briefly on how like the warmth, the temperature of a color will affect its mixes, but if your extra 2 colors have like a color tendency that doesn't follow with the ones you're trying to mix them in, chances are that it's going to create more of a neutral color than if you add different color. Ugh, this is hard to explain. Probably not making a lot of sense, I'm sorry. No, Dan. I was talking about this with Otto, and yeah, we took our old person hats and ranted about this stuff. But the amount of pigment in a paint doesn't matter. It has no consequence to the mixes. Yeah, Dan went there. What really matters is the color of the paint. And it's not the pigments in it, it's the final color it is. And if you have a color that doesn't combine well with another color, it doesn't matter if it has 1 or 20 pigments in it. It's still not gonna give you what you want. Sorry. I was looking for a specific palette that was, of course, under all the other palettes. And these are my Billy Showell's palette. Billy Showell? Anyway. And they are poured from tubes. And yeah, they are still very wet. Like they don't move, they don't go anywhere. But if you put your finger in one, you're gonna end up with paint on your finger. So that's kind of the trade-off. M-gram is the same. It's the honey in the paints. So yeah, you cannot escape this. Okay, so Dan is saying, well, when I was playing with them today, the ones I used had like 3 pigments. Still, that doesn't matter. Because it's irrelevant the number of pigment. The only thing a pigment can infer is its transparency in the mix, but it's not having like a lot of pigment in a paint that's gonna make it muddy. It's having colors that don't combine well. And colors ultimately are the result of all the pigment in one paint. So you look at the final color, that's the only information that's relevant. And if it ends up being a yellow, a warm yellow, well, it is a warm yellow regardless than if it has like 10 pigments in it. Sam, I appreciate the offense on behalf of this live stream. I just wish the thumbs down option had a way to sort of ask the person, like, can you take a moment just to comment on what you disliked about this video? Because if it's something like technical, like the sound is bad, well, okay, cool, that's constructive, then I can work on it, so yay, constructive stuff. But if it's just like, I don't like your opinion of this thing, it's like, well, the door is there, you can just, you know, go watch something else. Who's forcing you to be here? Let's be real, it was probably a cat being a jerk. Yeah. And Otto is right. Thumbs down that ultimately are not a bad thing for the video. As far as YouTube goes, it's a bit it can affect like the YouTuber's mood if you don't really know why you got disliked on something. It's so weird, like I put forth my opinion of this stuff and you don't like my opinion of this stuff. Okay. Yeah, sure. What am I supposed to do with that? Hello, Arath Beast. Welcome. And welcome back, Heather. I'm thinking this kitty should be what, maybe an orange kitty? What do you guys think? Yeah, but they could comment like anonymously. At least it would be helpful. There's just, it still helps YouTube, but it's just like so weird. Pink kitty, okay. Orange. Yes, orange. I think this is gonna be an orange kitty. I have some really pretty oranges in there that I really like, and I keep using the good brush for the bad task of rubbing at dry paint. Purple kitty, huh? Whoa, Sam. Checkerboard pattern. Well, that's pushing it a bit, isn't it? Psychedelic tie-dye pattern. Yeah, not there yet, guys. Oh, that's so cool, Lana. Lana is saying that the first cat they ever had was an orange one with stripes. That their mother brought it in the deepest Siberian winter and hid them under her coat. That's so cool. Fluffy orange and white. Do you need a model or two? Ah, well, I didn't draw the cat too fluffy, fortunately. Fluffy cat or something I have yet to practice more. Sky blue pink. What? Glow in the dark. I think I'm gonna need more than one palette for this. Alright, it's not here. Sorry, I'm drinking water. Question: I was a little late today. What palette do you use? And will this one be available as a print too? You can sell me all your orange kitties, you know. That's so cute. Thank you. This palette is the Sennelier palette I put together. Like I bought a cheap 48 colors tin and gradually slowly bought pans of Sennelier until I had colors that I liked. Since I'm going to be painting small areas, I will not bother switching out brush because I'm going to lose all the paint anyway in the process. I think I will possibly make this one a print as well if it turns out okay. Might have some minor editing to do, like there's still a pink shadow here from something that I ended up not liking. And I need to find a new place to print my prints because I'm a bit angry at my current printing place. Of course, if I find nothing else, I will have to find a way to work with them, but yeah, at the moment I'm still considering my options. I still need to scan and make a print of my fishing cat painting I did for the AAC. Yeah, but Sam, you're still fairly young, aren't you? I think a lot of people who are talking about being married and all that are a bit older. So yeah, more time means more occasions of getting married. I would love to get my own printer to make prints. That's my ultimate dream because I'm a bit of a control freak on that. And that's why I get so annoyed at my printers, because the guy doesn't care so much as I do, and I get really flustered over details. But like small things that like when I show other people, everyone tells me, no, it's fine, it's okay, it's fine anyway. But I get really angry and frustrated to the point of tears. Like, it really bothers me, but a printer and ink is really expensive, and it's not an option for now. But I really hope someday I can like do that, because I would love it. That would be perfect. Can we just reflect on the fluffiness of Havoc for a moment? Like, seriously, Kat, do you really need 10 pounds of fur? She does, she's so cute. She's the floofiest. She has so much floof. I love it so much. Her pantaloons are the best. You guys are funny. Chat is so funny. I am not married, but I've been with Mr. E for it's gonna be 15 years this year, and we've known each other for 23 years. Yeah. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, in the eyes of the taxman, I am married. That's so true. Oh, Paulo, I feel your pain. I have to think for a good moment before I can say my age with any assurance, because I'm like, wait, how old am I? Wait, what year is this? When's my birthday? I gotta count this up. No, maths. I'm not a math person. So, yeah. And ultimately, that's true. Age means nothing. I agree with you, Victoria. It's just a number. Yeah, that's the other thing, like regardless of everyone's physical age, I think we all have a similar mental age to some degree. Between 18 and 75. Ah, that's so funny. I am trying for this illustration to use a bit more color than I would normally. Oops, that's not the thing I wanted to do. But I still try to keep them all in the same general hues. Like I have many greens, sort of orangey, muted reds a bit. Like I don't feel like I should add in like a bright blue or, you know, something really drastically different. I'm really trying to keep this cohesive, but also to really follow the more illustrative idea that's in my brain. You guys are funny. Okay. Grace, that made me laugh a lot. But yeah, just to quickly talk about the printer, having my own printer. It's definitely on my list of things I want to save up for. Okay, the list has many things on it, but it would be great to be able to manage my own print. I think that if eventually I can sell like a bit more of them in general, that would be like a more viable options, but at the moment I don't sell many prints. So yeah. This Denny, that is really funny. I mentioned it to Mr. E because he had never heard of it before, and I was explaining to him that we were having this ridiculous discussion on the chat about the product, and the only thing he said is like, it was something like, but why should the dog care? And I'm like, precisely the point, you know. I don't think they care. I think the animals, you know, they pretty much just get along with whatever happens to them as far as they can. I mean, sure, some situations are difficult to deal with, but you've seen animals that have like no hind legs or are missing a leg, or, you know, just stuff that would throw a human off, and the animals, they just adapt and they're fine, and they're like, yeah, sure, I'm missing a leg. Who cares? Look at me climbing this thing anyway. I don't mind. I will develop the rest of myself so I can, you know, work, like, be a functioning animal anyway. So I think that's funny that this website exists catering to basically humans that really have an issue with that specific operation for their dogs. It's a bit silly. Question: what kind of printer would you use if you could afford it right now? I've been researching it a bit. I've seen that some... Okay, let me gather my thoughts a bit. Yeah, okay, I've seen that there are some new models of printers that are really great because they have like these bottles that you can fill with ink instead of having the cartridges that you have to replace all the time because there's like 3 milliliters of ink in there. But I haven't found any printer with the bottles that can deliver a good enough quality from what I've read of the reviews. What I was looking for then is a printer that has cartridges, but that the cartridges are not too numerous and not too expensive to refill. And I found one that was quite good by Epson, and it uses 6 cartridges. So it has cyan, magenta, yellow, black, gray, and red, which I thought was clever, because I find it really insulting when a printer has like magenta and light magenta, and I'm like, yeah, really, thank you so much for having light colors. What? And those with the light colors usually have like 8 cartridges that are relatively pricey. So yeah, I thought that this one by Epson was great because it had like 6 different colors, and 6 cartridges is better than 8 when you have to replace them. And they also offer like extra capacity cartridges that are not too expensive considering it's cartridges. So that was the one I was shopping for, but all in all it costs, oh, I can't remember how much, but I think the printer is like $300 to $400, and all the cartridges and extras, it was like $500. So that's kind of expensive, you know. It's not something that I can splurge just like that. I did some tests with my home printer because it's a decent home printer, but still the quality is not awesome, so that's not an option. Like, I would hope that the Epson one is better, but I've never seen it in real life, so maybe it's... I'm not good at picking electronics, so there's a good chance that it would be a terrible one. That's my usual luck. But yeah, that one I thought was at least a bit more interesting because of the fact that it didn't use 8 cartridges, with basically 4 being the same as the other 4s, but with more water in it. Like, how is that not insulting? Seriously. And I don't want to go to fake ink cartridges because there's no guarantee of the quality of the light fastness of the inks. Like, you don't really know what to expect from these inks. My printer also uses 5 cartridges with 2 black, my current printer. If the ink in the printer is lightest, it's just that light fast. I think the printers that are meant to print photo have better quality ink, or at least not any worse than when I go to the printer and he does everything laserjet. I mean, yeah, ultimately, I cannot afford to go for what, Giclées? Are you guys still talking about marriage in the chat? Hey Robin, welcome. Guys, don't fight in the chat. I'm really bummed that my Ultimo size 2 was sort of a dud. Like, it doesn't keep a point well. That often happens with smaller brushes. It's not any shade on the Ultimo brand. It's just smaller brushes are more difficult to keep like together as they travel, and from either from the Escoda factory to Jackson's, or from Jackson's to me. I think this might be one of them that lost its cover, and it doesn't keep a nice point. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer, but it's something that happens. I think my size 1 suffered a very similar fate, so chances are it is in transit that they got messed up a bit. Well, Sam, if you don't got the balls to fight, you know where you can find them. That sounded so wrong. That's just because we had this big discussion yesterday about the company that offers prosthetics for neutered pets. Basically, the guy sells prosthetic balls. So if you guys don't have the balls to fight, well, you can sure visit that guy and get some of his. Sorry. We had such a laugh about this stupid website yesterday. No, I will not paint those on stream, Dan. Dan! Besides, they just look like jelly beans, seriously. They look like beans. It's just like stupid plastic beans that are sold for a fortune. It's technically for pets. them on. That would be so funny. Clip-on balls. Yep. I apologize for whoever is possibly offended by this discussion, but it's a thing that happens in the world and you are part of the world, so yeah, stuck with it. Okay, so how does this look? Do I want to add more to it? I feel it's a bit simple, but I'm afraid of it, since I don't know what I want, if I try to add more to it, it's just gonna be a big pizza that doesn't make sense. Do I feel like a ball kind of day? Sure, clips on. Good one, Grace. Just take a moment to look at these two brushes that are supposed to be the same size and how different they look. Like, you can tell that there's something wrong with this one here. It's not... Even if I try to shape it properly, like, it doesn't shape well. It really got messed up. While the travel brushes, they usually travel like with the protector on, so they keep better. They stay better. I'll make a deal. Danny's saying, I'll make a deal. I will get married when Eve does. Yep. So, possibly never. Otto, that's so funny. Chat is really funny. I might have to keep this one because it's really hilarious. Oh, wow. Okay, good. James had a good question. He says, the painting looks really nice. Have you considered selling them as cards? I will scan these and hopefully sell them as prints or something eventually. Like I've had a couple of prints on the shop for a while now, and I have a few postcards, but I am still very new to this, so I don't really know what people prefer. Like, do people prefer cards you can send, like, you know, folding cards, or postcards, or just prints? or I'm not really sure what's the, because there hasn't been really anything that like sold a lot or anything, so I am not sure what people like. But if there is something specific you would like to see, feel free to suggest. I will take it into consideration when I get around to printing this one. Oh, Grace, that's a big yeah, that's a big commitment. Here's the word I was searching for. It's not one I will ever do unless they are cats, because that's just the way I roll. Oh, okay, so I need to make more prints with cats on them. Okay, cool. I think that will make everyone happy, including me. I know, I think I missed what Destiny was saying, but yeah, sorry to hear that. Oh, you guys are really awesome, and I'm super thankful that you are really open to the idea of more prints. Thinking of you card. I think if I were to make card, I would possibly leave the front blank, because that, yeah, that's right, that would work for a good thinking of you card. But yeah, because I'm a French person first, I find it difficult to write text on cards, because I'm like, the image doesn't need translation, but if I put text on there, then that's another story. So I will switch to this one. Oh yeah, Lana, I am so with you on that. Like, I don't understand the advice from people with kids who say, like, say someone is not sure they want kids, or just say they don't want kids. Why tell them that they should try it out because it's great? It's a really big risk to try kids out. What if you realize that it's really not for you? Well, this decision just to try it out is gonna make both you and the kid miserable, so I find it really clumsy to say to people to just try to have kids, you're gonna like it. It's a bit narrow-sighted. It's a big thing. And I'm not saying that, like, it's just a thing, like, to respect. If someone says kids are not for me, well, yeah, sure, that's a thing too. Why would that be unacceptable? I much prefer hearing from someone, I don't feel kids are for me, than the people going forward and having kids and just being unhappy and making the kid unhappy by extent. I'm glad, though. It's rare to see things like when Riot say that that they loved being pregnant, and that when their daughter was born, they felt love like they never could even imagine. That's perfectly fine, and I know a lot of people with kids who feel the same, but not everyone is the same. So I also understand people who say, well, I don't want kids, and I'm like, fine, sure. What bothers me is when people try to push their opinion on other people. Like, if someone says something is not for them, well, you can talk about them, about why they feel that way and all that, but ultimately you don't get to decide what is for them or not. They get to do that. And if in 2 years they decided that suddenly they've changed their mind, that's also correct. But if their mind never changes, that's also correct. There's always a thing about kids also, like, you never know what's gonna happen. Like, everybody pictures a very similar scenario, but like, certain circumstances are really not, say there's a chance your kid might have some health issues or some issues and you have to deal with those. Well, not everyone is possibly in a position to afford, not necessarily just monetarily, but in time and you know, in mental health, as a commitment to take care of someone who needs you 24/7. So yeah, there's a lot of things to consider. It's not just yes or no. It's hold on, let me think about this for a while, and then I'll see. Yeah, exactly. It's not something you can just try. Having a kid is for life. So yeah, you cannot you cannot return it. You cannot, like, delete it. That's not the way it works. Aw, Otto, that's so cute. Perhaps one could just rent a kid and do a trial run. Ah, that's kind of terrible, but also funny. You know what? When I hold tiny babies, like, there are two things. Like, I have cried and I will cry when I see, like, someone I know having a babies, but I think it's mostly because I'm empathetic to their joy, and, like, they are super happy and I can feel that, and that's what makes me cry. But whenever I hold babies, it hasn't happened for a long time, but when I used to, my only thought was like, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. Are you holding it right? Is its head okay? Are you doing this fine? So yeah, it's not for everyone, I guess. Yeah, I agree, Temple. That's not ideal. I'm really sorry you had to go through that. That's really not great. And I mean, that's parents too. Like, not all parents, they will not be there 100% all the time. My parents has had up and down, so I have some really good memories and I have some really less good memories. And whether that's a reason why I want kids or not is irrelevant, because anyway, I'm here and I won't do something that I don't feel is for me. And yes, no one should ever say that to a child, I agree. You may think it, because that's normal, you're a parent. There are days you're gonna want to throw your kids out the windows, but you don't do it and you don't say it. That's the difference. Though I'm saying that and I always tell my cats I'm gonna throw them out, but I do that because they don't understand. I can get away maybe more because they're cats and they don't get it. Like when I threaten to turn them into mittens or hats. They don't get it. They're just here like in Charlie Brown, so they don't get it. They're just like meh noises. Oh, Dryad, I'm so glad your daughter is great. That's really cool. And I'm glad you took that decision because it was definitely for you. Destiny saying, if you have kids, remember it will be a good 20 to 30 years before you can afford art supplies again. Oh, that's depressing to read. Women also have really hormonal reactions when they hold babies or are close to them. Yeah. Like, hormones is not something you can control, sadly. Yes, Temple. Temple says, I threaten to eat them. Doesn't faze them a bit. I do the same. Like, I always do, I always ask Mystery, I say, which one do you want to eat tonight, Scout or Pecco? And they just don't care. They're cats. They don't get it. Otto. Yeah, I haven't held a baby in a really long while. I think the last baby I held was when I was babysitting 20 years ago, and there was definitely no reaction. But when I saw my friend when she had her first baby and we went to see her at the hospital, I cried. But I think it was really just more like an empathetic reaction, because I never felt for a second that I wanted that. It was just I cry a lot, and I think I am relatively empathetic to stuff, like stuff that I see or stories that I read or movies, but it doesn't mean that it's not like a hidden feeling of something. It's just reacting to the emotions, but it doesn't mean I want something that is there that I possibly don't have. It's just being emotional about stuff because you understand the emotion that's in play. You worry about holding them for the first one. Once you hit 3, you hold them by the ankle upside down and marvel, wow, these things are sturdy. Oh yeah, same. I don't want to hold the baby. Don't put that responsibility on me, seriously. Like, it's your baby, you hold it. I will look at it and stay away from the bodily fluids, possibly. I cry even when I'm watching terrible movies. Like, if something is an emotion that you can relate easily enough, I'm gonna cry. Well, if it's a sad one. No, even if it's a happy one too, I will cry. Cry, cry, cry. Let's all cry. Oh yeah, when something sad happens to animal, that's the worst. But like anything that you can relate, say you're watching a show and someone loses a parent, or you know, someone gets really sick, or their loved one gets really sick, and if you can like put yourself in the same situation, it's really hard not to be sad, because these things, they're not great things. Why are we talking about sad things again? Like, I'm painting something really happy and cheerful, and we're talking about sad stuff. And babies. No, there's a hair. Yeah, I got it. Cat hair. Aww. What about Happy Feet? The movie? What? Back to ball chat. Did you cry? I haven't watched Happy Feet actually. I was watching, we watched the second season of Dear White People recently, and there's an episode in there that I spent the whole episode crying. I cried watching Finding Dory, especially the first time. It's weird because sometimes I will cry at moments in film that I don't find good. Like, I don't like the movie, but if a scene is emotional enough, you still cry. Maybe I said that already. Don't watch Happy Feet, you'll cry. Oh no! No, watch Finding Dory. It's a really great movie. It's really, really good. Really loved it. And it's a really interesting take on you know, it's still about people dealing with disabilities. And yeah, watch it. Just watch it. Finding Dory is completely worth watching. Oh, that's interesting, James. I don't really follow much of Theo's stuff recently, mostly because he's been on a big, you know, technological stuff review spell for a while, and not so much art supplies. So and also I don't have like infinite time to watch videos. And I want to watch all my friends' videos too. So yeah, so basically busy. And I just caught up like only a bit about the fact that is his wife. Yeah, I think they got married, but anyway, he got a kid recently. But I was a bit surprised that there was possibly no mention of it before until she was born, and I was like, okay, sure. But that's I don't know, we don't get to see how he behaves when he's not filming it, so I am not sure. It's always weird, and so suddenly someone is like, hey, I had a baby, and you're like, what? Your wife was pregnant? Okay. Yeah, Finding Dory is a really touching movie. Oh, bye Zoe. Thanks a lot for being there. But yeah, it's, you know, sometimes you expect things from people and they don't really react in that sense. It's just like, oh, okay, sure. Whatever floats your boat, man. Like that happened also with an artist I followed. And of course it's okay. They didn't want to make it super public that they were expecting a baby, so like, perfectly fine. But it's sort of weird when suddenly you have a picture of like a newborn and they're like, hey, say hi to our kids something or other, and they were born recently, and you're like, oh wow, I didn't know you were expecting a kid, so congrats. Sure. If anything, I kind of prefer that. But yeah, that's just personal preferences. Oh yeah, it could be a cultural thing too. Oh wow, that's weird. Do I have a catchphrase? Okay, When I am not sure what I want to use as colors, I always go first for the stuff that I know what color it will be. In this case, I'm fairly confident that the carrots are going to be orange. Yeah, they can be different colors, carrots, but in this case, I think I'm gonna go with standard orange carrots. Speaking of babies and all that, did you guys take a moment to check the new baby cats on Kitten Academy? Hey, Tsukaboo, hi! The baby cats, they're so cute. They are so tiny. And it's adorable, and I want to pet all of them, but I can't. I don't watch Tiny Kitten HQ. So far I've only watched Kitten Academy. But I should check Tiny Kitten HQ if it's all about tiny kittens. Oh, kitten stage is a lot of fun. They are impossible. They will... They are so curious and they are so careless, but it is so cute. Oh, yeah, that's true. Maybe I channeled Dante without knowing it. I've never played Animal Crossing, so I can't say much about it. I'm guessing it has animals in it. That's about what I got. That's all I got on the topic. What is the Safari Live livestream about? Sounds interesting. But yeah, the Kitten Academy livestream has a... I mentioned it, but she's so funny. They have a baby tortoiseshell in there, like a tortie, and she's like 100% tortie already. She's like fighting the others to get access to the milk bar, and she's just rambunctious and loud and adventurous, and it's just so funny because that's like really what torties are about. So I find it really funny. It's like whatever you do, a tortie is a tortie. There's no helping the gene. 2 live safaris every day. Oh wow. Huh, I will check it out. There is probably a puppy dog channel. I'm fairly sure there has to be one. Ah, it's based in South Africa. Wow, that is so cool. I have to remember this. Safari Live. Tsuka was saying that they had a tortie growing up and she was in charge. They called her Bootsy. Yeah, torties, they will decide for everyone else. They make me laugh so much. They're so silly. Like, ultimately, you're just a tiny cat. Stop it. Aw, chickadees. That's so cute. How did you end up with 9 chickadees at home, Malvina? Yeah, I am using my muddy water because I don't really mind. It's not too bad and it's still gonna help keep everything cohesive. If it doesn't work, I will just rinse it out and try something else. It doesn't really bother me. Not until it's like really, really like dirty and brown, gray, like something you don't want to have in your color. Yeah, it's not mud. Sorry. It's just brown. Oh, that's pretty cool. So you're caring for them, Malvina, until they are old enough to be released? Oh, yeah, I have a couple of everlasting memorials from first cap. I have one at least, and I will possibly have a few. Like I'm super pale, so it's hard to see, but I have a faint scar here from my first cat biting me once. He was really a passive cat, except this one time when he escaped the house and was hidden under a car, and he was really angry for some reason, and he bit me. He was sadly declawed, so yeah. That was the time when it was like the ordinary thing to declaw your pets. Your cats, I guess. Oof. It's raining a lot. Yuck. Well, the grass is gonna be happy, I guess, and the plants. Not us. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sad my cat got declawed, but it was not my decision. I was 5 when we got him, so the concept of declawing was definitely alien to me, and I think my parents were not aware of what declawing really was. So, yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Victoria! Which one did you get? The stickers from Redbubble are really nice. Like, I've bought a few for myself and I really like them. They are great stickers. They're really sturdy and they stick well, and I think they are waterproof because it feels like they are vinyl stickers. So that's pretty awesome. Well, at it, if I were to make prints through Society 6 or Redbubble, is that something you guys have like tried before? Have you bought from these platforms or for prints? Like, I haven't... Oh, bye, Rhiannon. Thank you so much for being there. Oh, wow. Well, Victoria. Yeah, they are really good stickers, so you're gonna be great with your... you're gonna enjoy your 15 stickers. They have good discounts on big orders too, I think. And, like, stickers are not super expensive to ship out, so... good thing. I've bought a few t-shirts from Society 6 and the quality has been uneven. Like, I have 2 of them that are really good, super nice quality, nicely printed, they go through the wash and dryer, no issues. And the third one I got, the print is almost gone on it, like it was eaten away by washing and drying. I don't have a PO box yet. It's kind of expensive to get a PO box, so I can't really afford it for now. Oh, thanks, Dan. I love that you can buy like a huge sticker on Redbubble. If the design is of a high enough quality, it was uploaded, you can... okay, it's more expensive, of course, but you can get like an insanely huge sticker, and I'm like, wow. And I think like the demo they have is they show it on a fridge as an example, and I think that's really funny. Like, you could get some really fun stuff to put on your fridge over on Redbubble. no! The print on the case was terrible. Was it like the picture uploaded was too low resolution, so that's why it was not a good quality? Or was it just like a bad job of the impression? The Dragon Horde sticker is really relatable. Like, I still watch it sometimes and I take a moment to just look at it and I'm like, yep, still good. Still insanely accurate. And speaking of baby, the image was grainy, so it's possible that the person who uploaded the design like tried to force it into a design that it wasn't compatible with, or it could be an issue with the way they printed it. I think they have decent customer service, but yeah. Like, they offer sometimes, like, sites like Society6 and I don't know for Redbubble, but Society6, they offer printing on like a duvet cover, but I don't think anybody works in a format that would allow for a good printing at that size. It's just insane. It requires like a huge resolution, and I highly doubt that anyone is working big enough for that. I think this set could do with like or I could mix it, but yeah, it's still missing something I want in a brown, but possible that Sennelier doesn't offer the brown I would want. It is getting kind of late. I hope you're not too bored of this yet. No, it was a baby in the background, but like a neighbor's baby. The baby that's for some reason always crying. Oh yeah, I am using Sennelier colors in a palette I put together from the paints I wanted, like, instead of buying one of their pre-made palettes, because there's always a couple of colors in there and I'm like, I'm not gonna use those. There's not enough purples in there. Where are all the magentas? Where's opera? You know, these types of questions. Possibly not a lot of people are asking where's the opera, but I'm one of them. I love opera pink. Nope, I was about to do something really stupid that I always do. I was about to paint next to an area that's freshly painted, and I'm like, why do I always do that? Seriously. No, there was no cats. The cats are sleeping. It really was the baby crying. Where's opera? Only me and Otto. I love opera. It's a lot of fun. It's like when someone says, hey, do you have a bright color in there? And I'm like, yep. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, the Sennelier opera is fairly unique in that it's a lot less neon. I know you're gonna tell me that's pretty bright. Of course it's bright, but it's a lot closer to the PR 122 pigment that's in it than to the neon pigment that's in it. So it's a lot more tame than you would have from... see, this is bright neon pink. So you can see that it's not quite the same kind of vibrancy. It's really pretty and unique. This is mostly Caput Mortem by Sennelier, also a very lovely color from this brand. think it would be a bit more light fast in the sense that you would have less of the pigment that will fade. Yeah, Mgram, if you are in the States, they are amazing. Especially for the price they sell them. It's like really affordable. There's always the thing, like when I see people who are like, oh, I can't get this brand, it is super hard to find for me. And I'm like, I understand that, but you don't necessarily have to go for this one. Like, what else is available to you? Like even like people in Poland that have access to Renaissance. So I'm like, yeah, go for these. They are super affordable. They're a lot of fun. They're great paints. You don't have to. I mean, I understand being curious and wanting to try different brands. That's okay. That's perfectly fine, actually. But if you want good paint to paint, you don't really have to import something expensive and having to hunt for that on the internet. And you know, like even here, even if I had nothing else, I still have Daniel Smith, and even in a pinch I have Winsor Newton. Like Winsor Newton is bland, but it's okay. You can work with these paints. They will put color on paper in, you know, a way that is perfectly fine. My butt. This Sennelier Caput Mortem is like this. It's really lovely. Yeah, of course my camera is kind of crummy and doesn't register the colors super well, but yeah, it's nice. think I am soon to be done with this piece. Because I think that's basically it for this experiment. Hello, Hafke. Hafke? How do you say your name? A Voltink? Hafke? Hafke? Unless it's a French name. I'm probably getting it wrong. It's so easy to spend hours window shopping on Amazon, I agree. Oh wow, you're pretty mellow on this, Afke. Alright, so I will be calling this done in a few minutes. So if you have some last minute questions, now's a good time to send them in. Have you done any work with neutral tints? I've done, it's my favorite colors, my favorite color when I'm painting, start again, my favorite color when I'm painting galaxies with like a black space background is Holbein's neutral tint. It is really the darkest one. So I've painted these with neutral tints, but not much else. Are there things you would like to see painted with neutral tints? Alright, so that will be it for today. It's been a decently long stream, so a big thank you to everybody who stayed for the whole thing, and even for part of it. That's greatly appreciated. So I painted these 2 drawings today. Yeah, not really. Okay, so this one was the first one, and then this one. And yeah. Of course. Of course. Come, baby. You're so pretty. You're so pretty and Chloe. Spencer?
Ouais.
Elle a-tu pilé dedans? Oh yeah, so the cat did spill paint. Tu me passeras ton... Yeah. That was a big potato cat. Okay, so neutral tint with gouache. That's interesting. So yeah, thanks everyone, and have a great weekend. We will see each other soon, so until then, take care, try to have fun, and go pet your pets. So yeah, bye bye.